Yeah, 1998, Proposition 5 was put on the California ballot. It allowed wide open, expanded Native American gaming, almost carte blanche. There was a vote on it. The public adopted overwhelmingly 60 to 70%, something like that, approval. Well, Native American tribes were already operating casinos without compact agreements, and they put something like $75 million in the campaign. There was Nevada casinos put in $25 million against it, but $75 million was the greatest amount ever put into any election in American history, with the exception of the last 3 presidential elections. It was just an overwhelming amount of money, and the Native Americans were making the case that the sins of Columbus have come to roost, let's settle them with casinos, and the public bought their case. 2 years later, Prop 1A came in with some wrinkles because Prop 5 was declared unconstitutional. Prop 1A came in and said the Native Americans can have gaming. They will be limited to 2,000 slot machines, and they can only have, I think, 2 places on each reservation, and they will give some of the funds to the state government. And there was an arrangement for allowing labor unions and some other things because labor unions said it was Prop 5. And this passed. This time the Nevada casinos said, hey, we've been burned. They didn't oppose. And so the Indians established, and this led to the boom of Indian casinos in California, major expansions. Then last year, 2004 election, there was a proposition for taking the limits off, but the Indians agreed to give the state 8%, which is about equivalent to the corporate tax in the state of California, excuse me. And the Indians put a lot of money, $30–40 million in the campaign, and there was essentially no opposition campaign. Las Vegas doesn't oppose gaming in California because our companies run it now. So they didn't oppose it, but it failed. And the Prop 70 for expanded Native American gaming with a 8% tax, that failed about 70-30. So it was almost an exact switch from 5 years ago. What had happened? I think many people in California feel that there are enough Indian casinos, or that with Prop 1A, the Native American community has gotten what they want. They want casino gambling. And also most people see that the tribes are benefiting from this, but the beneficiaries are the smaller tribes and just the reservations with the casinos, and they don't see an expansion of this notion as being helpful for California. And I think they're also recognizing to a degree that this mantra about the sins of Columbus isn't reserved just for Native Americans. There are many people in America that are deprived today and have been deprived historically, and there are many people in America who have definitely been hurt in other places of the world, or they wouldn't have come to America. This is a place for the people trying to restore their lives. Native Americans are one sector of our population that has had deprivation, but most of our population has something in the past with deprivation. People are saying, why should they be the favored group? They have their casinos. Why more? So I think the appeal is not there anymore. The appeal of help the downtrodden, because after all, we have African American communities in California. They're very poor. We have the Native American urban communities that are very, very poor, and they're not getting benefits. So I think the public is not as receptive to the notion. But maybe also it hurt because at the time of the election on Prop 70 for an 8% Indian tax, Arnold Schwarzenegger was pushing a 25% tax. And though he didn't put a lot of money in the campaign, he verbalized against the 8% formula. So it failed. So I think right now we're into a period of negotiations. And I think the onus is on the tribes to show that their casino will benefit California. And I think they have to do several things. But the first thing they do is have to look at their market and really ask the question, can we bring tourists in? Can a tribal casino near San Francisco, say, take advantage of San Francisco and help sponsor trips for people from Ohio to come to San Francisco, then stay out at the casino, something like that, whereas we're benefiting the entire state or benefiting a broader tourism industry and getting a wave of money in rather than just having Californians gamble.